Attention gamers, Irelia is one of those champions who is completely balanced, never to be questioned or revisited inside of patch notes meetings at Riot. I mean, having multiple attack steroids, infinite resetting dashes, damage regurgitating reductions, an AoE stun and a diamondy death arena is just a well-designed kit that probably needs to be executed flawlessly for this champ to do well, so there's never any reason to get irritated with how brain-bafflingly busted she is to deal with, as she just duct tapes the gas pedal down with no regard for ever going too ham, because she is, after all, perfectly balanced. Okay, actually Irelia is the third Paul brother. You see, some creators have to leverage talent and hard work over long hours to produce content worthy enough to get views. These are like the Aurelian souls of the world, an underpowered niche that requires mastery to excel. Then there's the other category where you can just kind of turn the camera on and do the bare minimum to pass it off as a vlog and then reap the benefit of insane results. These are the Irelias of the world who can feel seemingly untouchable because they reach full build power at one item, so they can just Zamboni steamroll their keyboards all the way to the free LP bank. Which is why I am extremely excited to break down what happens when an overgrown sperm cell hops on this broken bandwagon trying to abuse this nonsense, only to end with the Feeder of the Week award on this channel. This is Irelia Syndrome. And her brothers aren't the only ones releasing raps on the side either. Let's all pause our League of Legends, give Ravi Rapper a few seconds. There's a big birthday in the house. It's Rady Shady Legends. I'll take it back and set the scene. All the way to March 2019, birthed onto your screen was the best mobile game we've ever seen. Happy birthday to you. Baby Raid just turned 2, it got its start with some simple art and then it hit its breakthrough. Now it holds a #1 rank, with millions of happy users to thank, countless PvP players to spank, and billions of battles fought that stank. And on behalf of Raid, I'd like to say, thanks to its awesome community, the fun songs they've played, and all the crazy dope cosplays. It has never been a better time to try it today. I like this game cause it's cheap, it's free, and the storyline is deep. Yippee. The sparring pit is OP. I'm growing my troops while I sleep. Now new updates are coming in. 6 straight weeks of events to play in, with all kinds of prizes to win, clan tourneys to battle in, and the very new champ from the awesome new faction called the Shadowkin. So use my link below, or scan my QR code, to give Rady Shady a quick download. You'll get coins, gems and shards to help you grow, and an epic champ perfect for the Doom Tower game mode. Happy birthday to
Raid Shadow Legends.
Now I thought about apologizing here to those who didn't like the rap, but then I remembered that tens of millions of people willingly listened to the lyrics Jake Paul shit out after eating a bowl of alphabet soup and passed as a rap, so let's just get into the game. Okay, so straight into the action. Our test subject wearing pink to pair with the pathetic she plans on rocking this game, and rule #1 of being a miserable moron is fighting past your opponent's minions, so she stretches her luck for a stun, forgetting that fencing Felicia gets off to shit like that, which results in the Jag-off getting jousted into a quick bush slap patty whack, give this Fio a free first blood type of situation. Now for context, I was playing Miss Titty Laser, and when our jungler wanted to wall Diarrhea himself into battle, I was all for it. So as Twitch informed us that he was hiding, I informed him that hiding was punishable by prismatic prison and a swift starburst in the rat balls, before running over to T1 to inform him that this charade will earn him a tax of 1 Dark Harvey stack before he is permitted to pussy out back to safety. And in addition to Lux APC giving you more CC for more GG and thus more hehe XD, if you pair her with the swollen hand school bus, it turns him into a highly contagious death disease robot, because everyone who he handshakes is almost guaranteed to die, as shown in Exhibit A below. And since the boys were in town, we figured we'd get a little wild, hire a juggler for entertainment, and then murder his ass the first time he drops something, you know, standard guys night type of stuff. Back to Pinky Stinks, more overextended than a set of double jointed elbows on a roller coaster. And in case it's been a while since you've witnessed a kindergarten brawl to the death, 7-year-olds typically shit on 6-year-olds, so it should be of no surprise that Bladed Betty becomes a bank ATM once again. Meanwhile, bot lane, it appears there's red meat on the shelves and everyone wants some, but I see the skinniest scarecrow ever, so I ask my support to introduce me to him. And the first meeting went well, I would say, and then that egotistical ass hat is just beaming in his smug juggling juice, so I cookie cutter his ass and Dark Harvey him to death. Then back to dashing Darla up here, who I guess lives by the mantra "3rd time's a charm," even if the first 2 times resulted in her being burnt worse than a waffle in a toaster in an ADHD narcoleptic's house. So she draws her diamond, demands a battle on a mob of blue robes, and interestingly enough, the 3rd time was not a charm. And so she decides to grace mid lane with her presence, and I don't really know what it is with this bitch, but she seems to love picking losing fights on top of piles of hostile hooded midget employees firing spitballs up her skirt as she flies around like a dumb deer until she dashes herself to death. And in bot lane we get roped into attending a surprise birthday party that neither of us really wanted to be at, so we tried our best to make up some false time constraint about why we had to head out early. But after we left I felt guilty, so I told the rusty robot to call the birthday boy back over so I can give him an old flash of the titty laser. And then a minute later the little sewage rat appears requesting a firm handshake, to which he too gets tied up and star squirted, and then Tyler 1 is playing for keeps I guess as he flashes into danger to secure himself some bolts. But Reaper Randy was in the area eager to crawl up some arrogant ass's ass, and I am all for that kind of poo play because it scored me the double. And I swear this top laner could be a newspaper, because there's just a new issue with her every day as she volunteers herself for the role of the one who got her ankles broken on a pile of midget hoodlums, once again just feeding more gold to the scissor-handed simp. That said, if our Irelia didn't exist, their fiddle would probably be the dumbest creature on the planet, so he gets the fizz flip-flop go back to the shops combo, and then Wally's dad gets revenge on T1, so we all spank to collect a little more bank. And a minute later I catch that pole dancing sardine in a sticky situation, so call me Clutchy Lux. I bail that bitch out only for him to show why he is hard stuck silver, trying to steal the kill and dying as a result. But luckily the wall gives birth to the one who will be enslaving the Draven, so I ignore the fact that a fed fencing abomination of 200 years is porting in and claim my double before putting the capital P, and I'm a piece out like a grade A pussy. But Blitz didn't hit up the Tesla superchargers this morning just to not bop sock this bitch in the throat, so I tie her up and we shut her down. This opens up the door for us to sneak a dragon, and I am guessing this dude has like 40 children because he clearly doesn't know what pull out means. And right when you thought you couldn't underestimate the moron anymore, we get the douche dash into danger special that is one of the most common symptoms of these syndromes we cover, as sums are burnt, scarecrows are slayed, and she feeds half their team kill participation gold. But that said, we get the Cloud Drake, which explains why you're getting a bird's eye view of the Keemstar I'm fast as fuck boy vid out of Blitz until he pulls us a little glowing rodent for me to cash out. Then a rolling golem may gather no rust, but a feeding one gives no fucks, so he just face checks the turret territory so we can all spank the ass of he who throws axe. And back to the sad reality that this levitating Cutco knife set is on our team, because every time she sees the fed fencer it's like she has a one-track mind to fulfill her fantasies of getting bent over in her own diamond and given the D, as in death you perverts. But when she wakes up she runs straight down mid to turn what would have been a good pick into an ill-advised tower dive, and full disclosure I did have heal, but I had never seen a top laner dive that fast in my life, so I guess that one can be on me. That said, somehow in the midst of the mid lane cluster suck festival, their top laner's GPS cucked up when taking her to the jousting match, putting her in a very unfriendly part of our forest, so I wait for our jungler to make his anal entrance and then I charge up the titty laser for the kill. And you may be saying, Rav, you already played this clip before. I swear I saw that dumbass overextend and pick a clearly unwinnable fight in this exact same spot, but I am here to inform you that this was just a recurring theme from this particular Bladed Betty. But I just had to keep my head straight and focused on my job, which at this particular moment was identifying people who wanted to go back to base and finding ways to send them there faster. And during the game I obviously heard Rift Alexa orgasming this feeding shit stain's name on repeat in the death announcements, but little did I know this bitch had her beer goggles on trying to hit her skill shots, just firing them off into different solar systems, getting flashed, piss sprayed and Dutch oven to death by their team support. That said, I had my own problems in the form of some angry barber clearly pissed off about the lack of tips he's been receiving, but little did he know I've been practicing my Golden Girl routine for moments just like this, and I believe a small break to rub one out was in order after thinking about that masturbate I just pulled off. Then the black sheep of our family is back up north until she starts getting flashbacks from one of the 37 times she died alone up there, so it's time to whiff a stun and then return back into her safe abode, knowing that she has a trick up her sleeve called the tantrum tomato, only to forget that she used the pissy plant to get to lane for no reason, so a resounding boo freaking who gets delivered to the Becky who chose blades in lieu of brains in this one. But here's a funny joke, she may have 13 deaths and can barely go to the potty herself, but because she is playing this busted ass bullshit she can still just destroy a Draven under his own tower before being reminded why that was a stupid idea. And my League of Legends anger management therapist always says I have to look at the positives every game, so I guess the silver lining here was that every enemy was constantly worth shut down, paired with the fact that they were piss stench awful as well, so I was constantly being introduced to big piles of cash. And there were some other positives too, like how their fiddlesticks dressed his brain cells up in a striped shirt and was now playing an impossible game of Where's Waldo, or how my Blitz had randomly turned into a networking guru giving out firm handshakes to everyone in the area. So this game was definitely in the winnable column. But I guess we are supposed to just ignore the fact that this chick archived her dexterity, intelligence and positional awareness because they were taking up too much space up there in her head, and the emptiness just makes her feel cleaner and more organized, because it just gets messy when you see literally everyone else running away from danger for you to have to fight the forces of reason or logic telling you not to dash in when you can just fucking do it anyway, carefree living, no consequences. But luckily this specific Tyler one was not quite reformed, so he was rocking almost as much int as their hungry hay bag. Not to mention, and without any need to be reminded that I am a rapper like Eminem, always thinking of rhymes: orange, door hinge, Zed, dead, League of Legends, sucks. Glowing Zed, also dead. And so while the game plan was to rush an elder before someone could TP and backdoor us, our teammates must have interpreted that game plan as pick fights and let them stall so that fucking Fencer could slip into something sexy and seduce the Nexus into giving her entire team LP. So in this case more CC didn't equal more GG, but it's because 17 deaths was quite the shaft to my PP. Irelia Syndrome at its finest. Rav out.
Don't fuck with Ravy boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy, talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy. Let's go.